Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is Sam and I think I'm about the same color as my bookshelves right now. This winter lighting is not doing it for me, but hello, how are we doing today? I hope you are doing well. I'm alright. Today we get to do one of my favorite monthly videos where we get to unbox the book subscriptions that I've gotten. The first one is a little bit different. We're gonna talk about Aardvark simply because I don't remember what I got whatsoever. Normally I don't open these on camera. I don't usually share them with you. I don't know if you guys care enough about Aardvark. It's similar to Book of the Month. You get an odd assortment of picks. You choose what you want. I have a ridiculous amount of credits because it's too much. But yeah, anywho, I picked a book. Ooh, okay. I remember now. So every month we get a very fun and cute bookmark. I really appreciate the style of these. And then there's usually like a little post of the books and then sometimes a little challenge. The book that I picked up was The Arcane Inheritance by Camilla Cole. This is the same author who wrote that one series. So Let Them Burn. And I never finished the series. I DNF'd it. It wasn't my favorite young adult. I had a few issues with it, but I didn't also outright hate it. So this is their newest release, and it's A Dark Academia. It is university, an Ivy League school, history linked to the occult, but with every passing day she's getting a strange sense of deja vu. And despite all logic, despite all reason, despite all the rules of reality, Ellery knows one thing to be true. She has been here before. As if she can't convince brooding legacy student Hudson Graves to help her remember the past that seems determined to slip through her fingers as if by some insidious magic. This time, she may lose herself for good. So I'm just intrigued. I like Dark Academia. You can't go too wrong. I like a fantasy. I'm not sure if this one is classified young adult or adult, but hey, if she's out there playing Kingdom Hearts for the bajillionth time, I won't even complain, because me too, girl. Excited for that. Alright, now we can get into the real magic here. Let's get into my owlcrate adult. I know what some of these are. I do believe that we are going to have a duplicate copy, because I know what one of the books is, because I was like, should I be ordering things or not? I'm trying to be a little bit responsible this year. I should have expected this. This book has a lot of hype around it right now. It's not necessarily one that I was particularly interested in, but here we have Violet Thistlethwaite is not a villain anymore. It's a very cute cover. The original cover is equally cute, so I'm not surprised this was a pick. This has been pretty hyped and popular. A lot of people are excited for it. It's not as big as I was expecting. Ooh, secrets. I love bonus content. Okay, 360 pages. I guess that's not too bad. We're back to the short books from owlcrate. I don't know what their thing is. I don't get it. But very cute, very sweet. His name is Guy. I hope it's not Guy. Guy Shadowfade is dead. And after a lifetime as the Dark Sorcerer's right hand, Violet Thistlethwaite is determined to start over. Not as the fearsome Thorn Witch, but as someone kind, someone better, someone good. The quaint town of Dragon Rest, Violet decides, will be her second chance. She'll set down roots, open a flower shop, keep her sentient, mildly homicidal houseplant in check, and prune dark magic from the twisted bouts of her life. Violet's vibrant bouquets and cheerful enchantments soon charm the welcoming townsfolk, though nothing seems to impress the prickly yet dashingly handsome Nathaniel Marsh, an alchemist sharing her greenhouse. With a struggling business and his own second chance seemingly out of reach, Nathaniel has no time for flowers or frippery, and certainly none for the intruding witch next door. When a mysterious blight threatens every living plant in Dragon's Rest, Violet and Nathaniel must work together through their fears, past, and growing feelings for one another to save their community. But with a figure from her past knocking at her door and her secrets threatening to uproot everything she's worked so hard to grow, Violet can't help but wonder, does a former villain truly deserve a happily ever after? I think the concept of this is very cute. I like the premise. It very much feels similar to the spell shop with like the sentient plant and everything, but I don't necessarily think that's like a bad thing. If you like a cozy romantasy, this is probably going to be right up your alley. That's not my preferred type of romantasy. I'm not really a big cozy person, but I will give it a try. I'm not going to knock it before I do. It might be the one for me. Who knows? I also hope that it's not leaning towards assistant to the villain, because that's just like not true villainy, and it's very frustrating to read where it's like, oh, we're so bad in villains, but they're like actually not doing bad things. So if she's gonna have this villain backstory and like have this dark edge to her, I do want to see that a little bit, and I don't want it to be brushed over and just like unrealistic, if you will. But yeah, I think it's a cute cover. I think it's a cute copy. I'm intrigued to see how everybody likes it, and if and when I ever get around to it. But with all that said, we can jump now into the owlcrate young adults. So this is the December 2025 owlcrate pin, the last in our little collection. And this is inspired by Legendborn by Tracy Dion. I always like these pins. I think this collection is very cute. It says, make it about the love. I haven't read the series yet. I know. I really like Arthurian legend type stories. I really like the Merlin of it all. It's a really fascinating period of time for me, and I like reading about it, and yet for some odd reason I never do. And so Legendborn is definitely one that I really want to get to. Next here we have a tea. This is the Moon Cakes tea, decaf black tea. I don't drink tea, you know, it's there, it's cute. This is Meet Me at the Sarah Moon Festival. Oh, that feels familiar, and I should know what this is from just from that, and for some reason that's escaping me. Anywho, cocoa nibs, cinnamon, cardamom, vanilla, cardamom, almond, white corn flour, and cinnamon chips. I simply can't complain about this item because I simply just love beanies with my whole heart. It makes sense that it's going to be something as famous and popular as Percy Jackson, which, you know, I haven't watched the new show, I haven't read the books, I have seen the movies, I am a fan. So it's not like I'm gonna be a fake fan wearing this, but it, you know, it's not fully something that I would like pick out of the line. But I don't have a blue beanie. I have a yellow, an orange, a green, and a lot of blacks. So how exciting for me. Now I have a nice little beanie. I wear a lot of beanies in the winter. Sorry, I'm trying not to ruin my braids, and I'm sure I did. I wear so many beanies in the winter though because I'm walking a dog and it's below freezing right now, so wonderful. And then we have a mini soup bowl inspired by The Night and the Moth, designed with love by @Bria Dene. Oh my goodness. This is not the color I was expecting, but oh, she's so cute. She's so small. I really like these like mini ramekins. Never really know what to do with them, but I can't stand the sound of them. But look how cute. She's got little handles. Same design. Nice bowl. My camera battery died. But it does say that it is microwave and dishwasher safe, so I'm wondering if like if I ever am in the mood for like a mug brownie, if I could make it in that. Might be something to play with. Next thing is maybe the most exciting item of the whole year. I want to say this is the 3rd year that we are getting very nice little shelf banner. This is for all of the pins so that we can put the entire collection just on like one banner together. And I love that they do this now. I would say that I have about three like plain banners that just have different color coordinations, but now I get to dot my room with these and I love it. And I love this collection this year, so like very pleased about this. Can't wait to hang it. That's my next task today. Cannot wait. And then, did I know I was getting this? I don't think I did, and I wish that I wasn't. That's okay. Maybe we're not getting a duplicate like I thought. Oh no, that's gonna be for next month. I'm a month behind in my brain. Just kidding. Everything that I said at the beginning of this video was kind of a lot. Okay, well, we have A Fate So Cold by Amanda Foody and C.L. Herman. Well, if you're curious about like all of my thoughts about this book, I actually read it for my NetGalley vlog for NetGalley November, and so I have a lot of opinions on this book, and unfortunately they're not all the most positive. I don't think this book is bad, so I don't want to dissuade you from reading it entirely, but it's definitely not their best work. I think a hummingbird just asked me for food. It's not like a bad book, but I think the pacing was really off, and so I struggled with some of it. But I'm still excited to see like how the duology will conclude. I don't think that it is at the same level of All of Us Villains and All of Our Demise, and it's been so long since we've gotten a set from them that I'm like, I want to do well because I want them to keep writing together, but at the same time, this just didn't hit for me. But it is a really pretty copy. I like that they're playing with the colors of like winter and summer. It's very seasonal of a read. Definitely, I think, a better winter read than summer read, but I'm curious to see if the next book is going to be more summery than wintry. Interesting. Let me read to you what this is actually about. This is not a love story. This is a tragedy. For most of the year, summer reigns peacefully over Alderland. Then, for 6 brutal weeks, winter rages, obliterating towns and wrecking casualties. Magicians bond with powerful wands of summer to defend the nation, a duty that cost many their lives. Dominic Barrow never wanted such responsibility, but destiny has granted him a choice. The greatest summer wand has awakened for the first time in a century, warning that an icy cataclysm looms on the horizon. And despite his reputation as the least suited of all of his classmates, the wand chooses Dominic to wield. Ellery Caldwell spent years striving to be a perfect summer magician, burying her fears of her own power. But Her worst suspicions are proven true when she accidentally creates the first ever winter wand. Now, as the unprecedented Chosen Two, Dominic and Ellery must thwart the oncoming cataclysm together, and in trying to fulfill their destinies, they wonder if they are brought together for the second fate, to fall in love. Until they discover the unthinkable truth, the Chosen Two aren't fated allies, but eternal rivals. And the only way to save their home is for one of them to slay the other. I think this is such a gorgeous, stunning copy, like such a pretty book. So I'm not like upset to have it on my shelves, but at the same time, you know, it's not like a trophy that I'm proud to wield. It was a 3-star book for me. The pacing was really off. It feels thicker than when I read it in a NetGalley book, but maybe a little things were changed since I read it. It's hard to say, who knows for sure. But I will admit that like I really struggled with us like blasting through the 6 weeks of winter. And there's a prophecy where we have to go find the puzzle pieces to the prophecy, and yet that didn't feel like a very big element to the story. I really like the destined chosen two, but like you're very reluctant to be a chosen one. Like you're not really into it, but like you kind of have no other choice. It's a good conversation about destiny and whatnot. The ending I had issues with, the pacing I had issues with, but I don't think it's necessarily a bad book. So I'm so about having it on my shelf, really. But what can I say? At least she's pretty, but not pretty enough for a face out. No face outs yet. Let's jump on in to our fairy loot. This is, I think, the adult in romantasy. So the adult December theme is Dagger and Dynasty. I don't think I'm familiar with this book. When I'm editing and I show you the original cover, maybe it will click for me, but this is Dawn of the Firebird by Sarah McGall Reyna, a gorgeous edition. She's so pretty. But it's also like a simple edition, which I think I kind of like. I feel like, you know, it's got the texture. It looks pretty. The discarded daughter of the emperor, Camilla Zaharzad, is raised with her mother's nomadic tribe until a violent raid ends that peaceful life. Amid the chaos of death, the heavenly magic of Noir awakens with her, granting her the power to wield a cosmic light. Camilla suddenly goes from outsider to weapon, finally accepted into her father's court. But tragedy strikes again when her clan's men are defeated by a rival empire. Camilla vows lasting vengeance as she escapes. Hiding her identity, Camilla infiltrates the enemy's army academy. She studies Jinn, magic, and martial arts from cutthroat mystic monks in a bid to bring down an empire from within. But through her studies, Camilla begins to question her father's teaching of war and rule. With war escalating across kingdoms and a twisted darkness spreading within her, Camilla is torn between two impossible choices: revenge or freedom. So it sounds like this is the first fantasy debut from this author. I'm interested about having Jinn characters and also like being in an army school that's very, you know, popular right now, but I don't necessarily think that negates a good book. I actually am very into academy-driven stories. I will also say that in her reader's note to fairyloot members, she says, enemies to lovers? Forget that. This isn't a romance. This is war. So I still feel like there's going to be some kind of romance in here, but I'm looking forward to it. Actually, reading the letter in this made me even more excited. I'm joking about the romance thing. I don't know if there is or isn't in here, but reading the author's note and talking about why they wrote this fantasy story and how it's going to be about war and the war on terror and just the brutality and violence of war, I think this could have some really solid discussions that I'm actually really, really amped to read about. I'm blinking because I'm like, I wasn't prepared for like a deeper conversation today. But there is a book, a media of some sort of landscape that I just am blanking on, where the author was trying to show like the nuanced discussion of, God, I'm having such a brain fart right now. It was something along the lines of like the conversations of a just war and how sometimes things need to be violent and like a peaceful resistance isn't always going to be the way. I'm truly blanking on it right now and it's driving me kind of mad, but it's fine. We're going to talk about Dawn of the Firebird. I'm really looking forward to this. I have really been enjoying, it's so weird to say that I like books that are centered around wars because it's just not quite what it sounds like, but I do think a lot of really thoughtful conversations come out of books like these where they talk about how war creates even bigger impacts than we maybe realize. And when we're reading a little fantasy book, sometimes we don't realize how other people experience war and how that actually has a real actual impact rather than just like watching it through a screen. And, you know, it feels really relevant to the times. And will it never not feel relevant? Hopefully not one day, but for now, I think Dawn of the Firebird is one that I really want to get to, and I actually think will be really important. I hope that it has a lot of the nuance in deeper and thoughtful discussions and conversations and doesn't just like brush over anything. But it not having a romance might honestly be a better sell for it. We'll have to wait and see. And then speaking of romance, we've got the December Romantasy box, which is Betray Me Again. I can read. And this is actually one of the reasons why I looked up some spoilers, because I don't want to duplicate all my book. But this was a book of the month pick as well as a book of the month allure pick. It's very strange to me that book of the month would have the same pick for their same subscriptions, but like, it's fine. We have We Who Will Die by Stasia Stark. I actually have, I believe, the Libro FM ALC for this. I'm very excited. I've read Stasia Stark in the past. I read Kingdom of Lies, which is a 4-book romantasy series. I've started the first book in the Kingdom of Death series, which is like a spin-off. A bit more fairy tale. Well, they're both fairy tale retellings, the first book. Anyways, not the point. I liked the start of the first series. I was very intrigued by it. I liked the characters. But as the world expanded and grew and we were getting more perspectives, I kind of lost interest. And I'm not super invested in the Kingdom of Death. I think it's going to be a trilogy. I'm not really sure. But Stasia Stark, in between all of this, somehow has written another book. And this one, way more up my alley. I'm actually really excited for this. I've seen some pretty good early on reviews, so I'm looking forward to this one. This one is like a gladiator book. And that's all I really know. So let's read what it's officially about. God, can we just... Oh my god. They're so pretty. Okay. Ruled by their oh my god, I'm so excited. Ruled by their vampiric emperor. Life in the perilous Thorn district is a constant battle for Aravel and her family. So when offered the chance to save her brother's life, she takes a magical vow. It will bind her to the impossible. Kill the emperor. But to get close to him, she must enter the Sundering, an arena where only the fastest, strongest, and deadliest survive long enough to be selected for the emperor's elite guard. As the stakes get higher and secrets emerge, she quickly draws the ire of the Primus, a powerful figure charged with protecting the emperor while also finding herself dependent on the emperor's sadistic son, Rorik, to hone her growing powers. With Aravel's destiny deeply entwined with these two vampires, she must unravel a conspiracy that will change everything she thought she knew about herself, but only if she complete her mission and survive the arena. I'm so excited. I'm just so excited. You're definitely getting from this special edition and like the imagery that it's like definitely a romantasy book, because I feel like if this was just a fantasy pick, I think the art would be a little bit more depicting of like the gladiator fighting sequence of some sort, like a big climax moment rather than the couple. But hey, they look so good. They're so pretty. I can't even complain. I'm really excited for this. Do I think this is going to be like my next favorite book of 5-star? Probably not, but I'm still really looking forward to it. I've enjoyed her in the past, so like why wouldn't I enjoy her now, you know? But I'm glad that I only have one copy, that I did not go forth and buy the Allure or the Book of the Month, even though I don't really, you know, I'm really trying to not get Book of the Month and Allure stuff. We'll talk about it another day, I guess, if you guys are interested, but that is something going on with me that I'm like trying to really be pick and choosy about the things that I get. But now we can do the young adult from Fairyloot. I've done nothing to prove that I know anything in these boxes anymore, so I'm intrigued to see what this is. Oh my goodness. First thing we have socks. This is Warcross Socks by Blanca Designs. I don't know what Warcross is, but I'm excited. You know I love socks. Who doesn't love socks? Socks and a beanie. I'm thriving today. All right. Spoiler card. Let's go. We've got Neon Lies for December 2025. These socks are inspired by Warcross Champions. Warcross by Marie Lu. Unfamiliar, but that's cool. Next we have here is a book sleeve. Kind of book sleeve. Book sleeve still? Book jacket. That's what they call this. And this is inspired by the Lunar Chronicles by Marissa Myers, featuring Cinder and Aiko. Obsessed. If you know me, you know that I started the Lunar Chronicles last year. So this is very fun to have. I don't really use these that often, I'll be honest, because it's like my books already have a dust jacket, so why would I need to replace it with this? But they are really cute. I like the artwork. They're very soft, good padding. Next up, we have a Neon Lies vase. I'll be real with you. I think these vases are very cool. I just don't know what to do with them. But this is not inspired by any specific book. It is just inspired by like the month's theme. This is kind of more so what the art looks like. You know, but it is cool. I think it'll look nice on my fantasy shelf. I just don't know what to do with them. I don't know what to put in them. Next, we have a darker by 4 iron-on patch designed by @peachymoki. And I love how handwritten this looks. It's just a really cute touch. All right. I'm not an iron-on patch person. We talked about this last month. But this one's cute! Oh, how precious. I haven't read Darker by 4 yet, but I don't recall there being a cat. So that's really exciting. But I think this is very cute. Again, I only really ever put these in journals. I'm not really an iron-on gal, but that's okay. And in classic fairyloot fashion, we've got the book, the overlays, and the tarot cards. So let's do the book first so that we know what we're getting into. So here we have a sci-fi. This is Cold Wire by Chloe Gong. Is this a new release? Oh, that's crazy. I actually saw this as one of their favorite books of 2025. And I thought, oh, that looks really interesting. I've enjoyed a Chloe Gong in the past, so I was like looking to see if the audiobook was available. And now I have it in my hands. Look at that. The future is loading. I know that this is a sci-fi and that's kind of it, but I'm really enjoying the neon vibes. For decades, the world has been caught in a cold war between two powerful nations, Medalu and Adahu. The median orphans who live in Adahu suffer the cost. Their enrollment at Nile Military Academy is mandatory. Either serve as a soldier or risk being labeled a spy. 18-year-old Iral is one such orphan. Having recently graduated and joined Nile Corps forces, she's doing well for herself. Until Adahu's most wanted anarchist frames her for assassinating a government official, and she's given a choice. Cooperate with him to search for a dangerous program in Medalu or go down for treason. Meanwhile, 17-year-old Laya is close to her own graduation when she's paired with her academic nemesis for one final assignment. But when they are ordered to infiltrate Medalu in virtual reality, Leah quickly realizes there is much more at stake than her school ranking. Iral and Leah tear through Medalu on separate courses. The two start to suspect they are pieces to a larger conspiracy, and the closer they get to the truth, the closer their worlds come to a shattering conclusion. The start of a daring new dystopian series following two young soldiers who must depend on unlikely allies in their fight for survival. How interesting. This is so very different from what I thought it was going to be, and I'm not really sure why. But I am very intrigued by this. I saw it on somebody's best, so it was like already kind of on my radar. I've enjoyed this author in the past, so like it makes sense that this would be a choice. I'm very intrigued though. Like, I'm not a big sci-fi reader, and I often say that I'm not the biggest dystopian fan. I think maybe it's just these very recent dystopian books that aren't quite doing it for me enough, but I do trust Chloe Gong, so I'm hopeful with this pick. But now I can show you the tarot cards because we have Nick as the Hanged Man card and Iral as the Death card. I think they look really cool. They kind of look silly with their glasses, but I'm sure it's like a fancy tech thing that like is important to the story. I'll just throw them back there. And then we also have the overlays, which I will show you quickly. And these were also designed by @Blanca Designs. She's truly the icon. The uniforms and everything do kind of give a Fourth Wing militant vibe. But I am intrigued by this. I like the art style. I like the look to the characters and everything. It does feel very focused on, I'm assuming, Nick and Iral. Is that what do I keep saying her name is? Iral? But it seems very focused on them. So I'm interested how Leah's going to be thrown into the whole story, but exciting. They look great. And of course, last but not least, we have the illumicrate pick. And this much theme is stories within stories. So the first thing I'm seeing is an Arcanate Tale bookmark inspired by Isle of the Silver Sea by Tasha Suri. Still really excited for that one. Haven't gotten to it still. But we have a very shiny, very shiny bookmark. Looks very cool. It just says The Knight and the Witch, which is the tale within the Isle of Silver. Very nice. It's got a little tassel and everything. Very cute. And now we have The Only Enemy is the Sea bookmark album inspired by A Study in Drowning by Ava Reed. That's interesting because I would expect something like this from Fairyloot, which we already got, but it is interesting to get one from illumicrate seeing as they don't do like a monthly bookmark, but I won't complain. I lack severely in the bookmark department, but I would really like to get more bookmarks, and Be nice to have a little place to store them because I'm not always, you know, I'm gonna be honest, I'm not great at using a bookmark because I'm reading a book within 1 to 2 sittings, and so I don't have a lot of use for them, but I do kind of love them at the same time. Strange things, but very cute. And next up here we have the Book That Inspire sticker sheet. Decorate your Kindle or journal with these stickers inspired by all 12 of our illumicrate 2025 books. Ooh, that's really fun. I'll be really honest with you right now, off the cuff, I'm not going to know what all of these are for, but here we have a little sticker sheet. I love this idea. I think this is such a fun and unique way to tie all of the books that you've given together, but very fun. I love this idea. Whoa. They know me so well. Let me in. How? I have a really deep love for square journals. I don't know why exactly. I just am really into them. So here we have another reading journal. Let's see what all we've got in store for us. Reading challenge. Let me try to like preschool show you guys how this book looks. Series tracker. Ooh, The Last Bookshop. The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. That's fun. Monthly TBR. Don't love them being boxes. I would rather just a list, but that's just me. Reading log. Reading tracker. Monthly reviews. I never use those. Sorry, I'm doing a bad job. Monthly wrap up. Bookshops and bonus. So each month, it seems, although it's not dated, it does seem like each month starts with an image, which is really fun. Strange the Dreamer. Cool. This is fun. I don't know how much use I would get out of this particular one. Would I have preferred it to just be kind of blank and let me do my own thing? Maybe. I can't complain too much either. I think it's very nice. Very cute. I do kind of wish that the design was a little bit different, just because the gold really blends in with this shade of purple, so it's kind of hard when you look directly at it to like see what's fully going on, but it's nice. I can't complain. And last, we have the book for illumicrate, which is not what I was expecting, but I don't think I'm disappointed by it. And I only say that because I've read this author's debut when it came out, I want to say 2 years ago now, and I didn't like it very much. But this is their newest book. This is Georgia Summers' second book, The Bookshop Below. And I will say the premise of this has intrigued me, and I have been kind of keeping my eye on this release. So I'm not upset to have it. It's very magical book stuff, which we all love. You know we all love this. If you want a story that will change your life, Sharon's Bookshop is where you go. For those lucky enough to grace its doors, it's a glimpse into a world of deadly bargains and powerful, magical books. For Cassandra Fairfax, it's a reminder of everything she's lost. When Chiron kicked her out and all but shuttered the shop, since then she's used her skills in less ethical ways, trading stolen books and magical readings to wealthy playboys looking for power money can't buy. When Chiron dies, and if Cassandra knows anything, it's this: the bookshop must always have an owner. To restore the shop, she'll need the help of Lowell Sharp, a rival bookseller who is everything Cassandra is not and knows it too. But as she's plunged into a world of unscrupulous collectors, deadly ink magic, and shady societies, a dark force threatens to unravel the bookshop entirely. This is definitely one that I'm certainly interested in looking, I'm looking forward to this one. I'm hoping for a better success. I don't think that an author's debut is always going to be their best work, and so I can only hope that this author has improved in a way that will bring more delight into my world, and I think a magical bookstore is probably the right way to do it. I don't think how can you go wrong, you know? I think the only thing that this is missing is that classic cozy touch of a sentient plant or a cat. So if there's a cat in the book, you know it's going to be a winner, right? But yeah, I'm really looking forward to this one. It's cute. It's good. It's good. But that is the whole unboxing. Now we get to do the fun part where I get to rank how I think I'm going to like these books. Knowing that I've already read A Fate So Cold, and I don't necessarily want to believe that any of these books are going to be less than 3 stars, she gets to go at the bottom. So sorry, pal. Oh my god, this is going to be hard. So I guess next we're going to do the cozy romantasy, just because I'm not a big cozy person, and look how small this book is in comparison to everything else. Violet Thistlethwaite is not a villain anymore. I think that there's potential for this, but it's hard with the things that it's going to obviously get compared to the spell shop assistant to the villain. There's a high chance that I will hate this, but also, you know, a chance that I could like it. We'll have to wait and see. Next. I do think, even though I just was talking about how I am excited for this and looking forward to the potential that this could be, I am going to put this next on the list just because my history with this author is so that it's like this could go quite wrong. So for that reason only, we're going to put her there, but I am still looking forward to it. And then, this is where it gets a little bit tricky. I guess for the same reason, we're going to do an arcane inheritance. I know this isn't technically the book box, it's an aardvark, but you know, we're here, it's fine. I'm gonna put this one next, again, for similar reasons. The last book this author wrote was also their debut, and I didn't really enjoy it that much, but I'm hopeful that this next book will be even bigger of a win. So for that, she'll go there. The only reason it's a step higher is because it's more dark academia, which I'm a really huge fan of. And now, oh my goodness, I think we're gonna put Coldwire next, because I am excited for it. I am looking forward to it. But again, sci-fi dystopian could be hit or miss, and I don't feel like the synopsis gave me enough to really go off. Like, I know that there's a guy named Nick, so I know there's going to be some kind of romance, but like, I don't know what Leah's part in all of this is going to be, so I'm intrigued, definitely, but a little bit maybe hesitant on that. And then next, no surprise, we've got the romantasy from Fairyloot. This is We Who Will Die. It's a gladiator style fight romance, but also like bring down the empire. I'm really into that kind of stuff. That's my bread and butter, man. Like, I love those types of books. So obviously, the final book, the one that I've had the most to say on, the one that I'm most excited for, the one that I'm going to find on Libby immediately after this recording, don't mind me, Dawn of the Firebird. I'm pumped for this. I cannot wait for this. Sometimes a Fairyloot letter from the author really sells me on a book. Sometimes they're really lackluster, and I'm like, you just retold me the synopsis. I don't really care. I like when the letters are going to tell me why they wrote the book, why it's meaningful to them, like what the importance of it was, what it is they're trying to say, and then I can kind of gauge it from there. I really appreciate that. So I'm really looking forward to this one, and for that, she'll get to live at the very top of my list. So this is kind of my ranking of what I think I'm going to like the most to the least, and hopefully I know my reading taste pretty well. I am actually really looking forward to a lot of these, and I'm hoping to read them within the next month or two, so who knows? Maybe the ranking vlogs will start soon. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see if I can get my hands on any of these audiobooks, just because I'm about to be bedridden for like a week, and I'm going to read a whole lot of stuff, so the more audiobooks might be the more helpful path that I can just rest. But enough about me. Thank you so much for watching and hanging out with me. I hope that you had a good time. If you made it to the end, leave me any type of book emoji down in the comments below for the bookshop below, and I will see you guys in my next video very soon. Bye!